So, all your contacts are in your CRM. It seems so easy, right? Just fire off a cold email campaign straight from HubSpot. But what if I told you that simple shortcut could get your entire business blacklisted? We recently onboarded a client who was struggling with outbound for a long time. Turns out they were using HubSpot to run all their outbound campaigns, which caused a major havoc for their business. In this video, I'm going to break down the permanent damage it caused them and show you exactly how to avoid the same trap. You think you're being efficient, but you're really walking right into a trap. Look, HubSpot is an amazing tool for inbound marketing. It's built to nurture leads who already know who you are. The problem is, using it for bulk cold outreach is a fundamental mistake because it's the wrong tool for the job. Now, to be clear, HubSpot is fine with some outbound, like targeted one-to-one sales emails where a prospect has shown some intent. We're talking about sending volume-based cold email to people who've never heard of you. That's where the problem starts. Email providers like Gmail and Outlook are constantly on the lookout for spam. When you suddenly blast hundreds of emails from one account, you set off every single alarm. In fact, HubSpot's own acceptable use policy prohibits sending bulk emails to contacts who haven't given you verifiable consent. They're not doing this to be difficult. They're doing it to protect you and all the other HubSpot users. They know that high bounce rate and spam complaints will destroy your sender reputation. And when that happens, HubSpot will step in. This leads to the first big consequence, email suspension. If they detect too many hard bounces or spam complaints, they'll pause your ability to send any emails and in severe cases, suspend your entire account. And this is where the story of our client gets painful. They thought, hey, it's just a few campaigns. What's the worst that can happen? Well, the worst happened. They got their main business domain blacklisted. You've got to think of your domain's sender reputation like a credit score for your email. Every spam complaint or bounced email is a negative mark. When you run cold emails from the primary business domain, the same one you use to talk to paying customers or your colleagues, you're gambling with one of your most important assets. Their bounce rate shot up. A few recipients marked them as spam in a very short time period, and that was all it took. Literally overnight, their emails to everyone failing and landing in spam. Invoices to clients, support messages, and even internal communications just started bouncing. Their deliverability for all emails plummeted because they had completely torched their domain's reputation. Let me tell you, trying to fix a blacklisted domain is a slow, painful, and many times expensive process that can take months. They're basically invisible to their own customers, all because they wanted to take a shortcut. Beyond the technical nightmare, it's about your brand. Being marked as a spammer erodes trust and makes your business look unprofessional. That negative first impression is almost impossible to undo. So how do you actually do this without blowing up your business? You have to separate your cold outreach from your main operations. And here's a simple 3-step solution. First, and this is non-negotiable, protect your primary domain at all costs. Never, ever, ever, ever send cold emails from your main company domain. Instead, buy a secondary domain that's similar, like getcompany.com instead of company.com. This acts as a firewall. If the outreach domain gets flagged, your main business domain remains safe and sound. Second, use the right tools for the job. Instead of your CRM, HubSpot in this case, use a dedicated cold email platform like Instantly, Woodpecker, Lemlist, Smartly. There's so many. They are built specifically for cold outreach. They have critical features that CRMs lack, like email warm-up. They also rotate between different mailboxes to mimic human behavior, which is essential for deliverability. Now, before I share the final step that ties this all together, I'm curious, have you ever worried about your email deliverability? Drop a comment below and let me know what you've done to protect your domain. All right, the third and final step is all about using your CRM the right way. Once a prospect actually replies and books a call that shows actual interest, that's when you move them into HubSpot. At that point, they're no longer a cold contact. They're an engaged lead. Now you can use all of HubSpot's powerful tools to nurture that relationship, track the deal, and close the sale, all without ever putting your main domain at risk. So let's recap the strategy. 1, never send cold emails from HubSpot or your primary domain. 2, buy a separate domains just for outreach and use a dedicated cold email tool to warm it up and manage your campaigns. And 3, only bring leads into HubSpot after you've got them on the call. This is the only way to scale your outreach safely and effectively. It's a lesson our client had to learn the hard way, but one that you can get right from the very start. Now, if you're looking to work with a dedicated growth partner that will take care of everything from strategy to execution and provide an influx of qualified conversations so that your sales team can just focus on the closing, then book a strategy call with me using the link below, and let's see what we can do together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.